Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. A startling follow-up to Michael Corinthos' return to Port Charles at the end of the Friday, May 23rd episode has been shown in a new video teaser for Tuesday, May 27th, according to General Hospital spoilers. As the 2025 Nurses' Ball drew to a conclusion, Michael entered, acknowledged his son Wiley Corinthos alone, picked him up and led him out of the event. This sequence was a instant classic and simultaneously startling and amazing. The surprised expressions on the faces of Michael's estranged wife Willow Corinthos and her boyfriend, Michael's uncle Drew Cain, thrilled the majority of fans. Shortly before they met Carly Spencer in the hopes of reaching a solution about the child custody lawsuit involving Wiley and his younger sister Amelia Corinthos, Drew and Willow were both feeling somewhat arrogant. Since Michael was away at the burn clinic, Drew informed Carly that they had the advantage, and that their goal was just to put an end to the family feud. After all, Carly was promised by Drew and Willow that Michael would be able to visit his children every other weekend and for 2 weeks during the summer. At this point, Carly said, "No way." Imagine the astonishment of Drew and Willow when Michael scooped up his son and took him home, without seeking their consent. However, where exactly is Michael's home these days? The estate of Coeur d'Alene? Perhaps the new home of Sonny Corinthos? It sounds like Michael might choose to spend a night or two with his mother, Carly. Michael is seen catching up with Wiley outside the Nurses' Ball stage room in a preview video for the Tuesday, May 27th episode. Michael tells the young kid how much he has missed Wiley and expresses his amazement with his growth. At this point, Michael tells Wiley that he has an even better plan than returning to Uncle Drew's place. An overnight stay with Grandma Carly's. Wiley is thrilled about the exciting evening they have planned, and Amelia is already there, waiting for them. In an attempt to stop them, Willow and Drew emerge from the gala room as Michael picks Wiley up to leave. As Jason Morgan suddenly appears and interrupts Willow and Drew, Wiley waves goodbye to his mother. Jason's expression is as serious as a heart attack as he informs the two that following them would be a bad idea. The preview ends as the General Hospital logo appears, and Willow and Drew come to a complete halt. How angry will Willow and Drew be, along with Nina Reeves, when they discover where Amelia and Wiley are? Willow and Drew appear irritated and frustrated that they were unable to catch up and stop Michael. Does Michael intend to remain at Carly's forever? However, he might simply wish to remain at Carly's place in order to spend some time with his mother and catch up with her. Michael would wish to express his gratitude to her for everything she did for him. After all, it was she who arranged for him to remain at the facility in Germany. She also stood up to Willow and Drew, acting as an advocate for Michael. Michael might realize that his mother was merely attempting to do her best to get the children away from Drew as quickly as possible, even though Carly may have done hastily by setting up the custody hearing so early. The sleepover at Carly's could be a small get-together for Michael, his children, and his mother because Michael lives at the Coeur d'Alene's and the Gatehouse. According to General Hospital previews, Drew and Willow are already outraged about what Michael did. But since they've been fighting Carly a lot lately, they'll be much more incensed when they learn where the kids are. Is Michael and Willow's rekindled love a timely escape from Drew? Michael Corinthos returned to town on Friday, May 23rd, according to General Hospital spoilers and updates, and it looks like his comeback will be quite dramatic. Supporters saw him on a private jet while watching the 2025 Nurses' Ball live. Is it possible that Willow and Michael will rekindle their spark? Michael caught a glimpse of Willow Corinthos, his estranged wife, kissing his uncle Drew Cain. However, since actor Rory Gibson is playing the part, Michael has a new appearance. Can this result in a new spark between Willow and Michael? Willow and Chad Duell's portrayal of Michael had a lot of spark, but as his time was coming to an end, their relationship soured and the passion waned. However, nothing would please Willow more than to be saved by her present partner, and if all goes according to plan, Michael's return might usher in a new era of the Willow romance. In Willow's life, it appears that Drew Coeur d'Alene/Cain's days are numbered. Revealed. Drew's deceptions? Even though he had fun accusing Tracy Coeur d'Alene of giving her ketamine, she wasn't the one who did it, and this will return to bother him. Supporters are aware that Drew's covert romance with Nina Reeves is known to Tracy and Ned Coeur d'Alene, who have been waiting for the appropriate opportunity to come clean. Given that Tracy won't tolerate Drew's framing, it appears that this could be the time. Furthermore, Michael will be able to attest upon his arrival that he was unaware of Willow's visit to the German burn facility and was not informed of her desire to meet him. Jason and Michael might have done some behind-the-scenes work. It's possible that Michael and Jason Morgan worked behind the scenes to clear up the misunderstanding and disclosed that Drew had paid the facilitator at the Baden-Baden treatment facility. Willow's life will be completely upended. In the end, Willow will not only lose Drew in this scenario, but she will also lose her mother to rely on if Nina's adventures with the vicious congressman are revealed. Michael has had time to think after going through a lot in the last few months. Will he be more motivated than ever to restore his family with Willow as a result of his altered outlook on life? A recast always gives the character a new beginning. A recast gives a character the opportunity to start over, which raises the possibility of Michael and Willow getting back together soon. According to General Hospital spoilers, this storyline surprise might be interesting, but it might also cause problems, especially because his mysterious baby mama, Sasha Corbin, is about to give birth. Michael would have to hide his one-night stand if he were to get back in touch with Willow. According to General Hospital spoilers, this fictional town of Port Charles may be home to a new couple. This is due to the fact that many people think Cody is the one who will ultimately give Molly her miraculous child. Cody may give Molly her miracle child. Many fans have noted that there is a lot of sexual tension between them, that they act well together, and that they look well together. Furthermore, they look adorable on camera. And as viewers of General Hospital are fully aware, opposites do attract, right? Since Molly and Cody both need a successful outcome, this is the kind of happy ending that viewers of General Hospital would love to see. In addition, we've been waiting ages to see Cody with a partner. It goes without saying that the issue was widely discussed on social media. Even I love Molly and Cody, but can we put a pause on more babies in Port Charles? Has been said in comments. Cody and Molly have a good time together, and I hope they don't spoil everything by making him into a cruel, inebriated person. Together, Molly and Cody are adorable. I absolutely hate the TJ erasure, commented another fan. Additionally, I found Cody and Sasha's chemistry to be far more appealing. The chemistry between Molly and Cody is mediocre. In fact, he and Lulu get along better. She ought to have given birth to her miracle child with TJ. The fact that TJ lost everything and was reduced to a ghost is awful. There was also the following comment. I don't understand what happened to TJ. He vanished out of thin air, but I adore Molly and Cody together, and I just want them to tell TJ what happened. The nurse's ball is ended by a startling return, and Cody reveals the truth. At the nurse's ball, Michael Corinthos makes a comeback to Port Charles and claims his son. Gio Palmieri heard Lulu Spencer question Lois Cerullo about decisions she made 22 years ago. In case you missed it yesterday. Gio is truly the baby that Brooke Lynn Quartermaine placed for adoption, Lois acknowledged. She clarified that she had to find a way to keep Gio in the family, because she couldn't give him up. While Harrison Chase and Anna Devane performed a tango, Gio, still in disbelief, took the stage to play his violin. After playing a few notes, he made the decision to dedicate the concert to Brooke Lynn and Dante Falconeri, his parents who kicked him out. Then, with Lois at his heels, he fled the stage after smashing his violin. As Lucy Coe frantically tries to save the evening by babbling, everyone is in shock. She then suggests that everyone go get a drink. Even Elizabeth Baldwin, who is recovering from a shattered leg, watched the entire catastrophe live on television. When Lucas Jones visits, the two take pleasure in each other's company as they see the events unfold. Gio Palmieri heard Lulu Spencer question Lois Cerullo about decisions she made 22 years ago. In case you missed it yesterday. Gio is truly the baby that Brooke Lynn Quartermaine placed for adoption, Lois acknowledged. She clarified that she had to find a way to keep Gio in the family, because she couldn't give him up. While Harrison Chase and Anna Devane performed a tango, Gio, still in disbelief, took the stage to play his violin. After playing a few notes, he made the decision to dedicate the concert to Brooke Lynn and Dante Falconeri, his parents who kicked him out. Then, with Lois at his heels, he fled the stage after smashing his violin. As Lucy Coe frantically tries to save the evening by babbling, everyone is in shock. She then suggests that everyone go get a drink. Even Elizabeth Baldwin, who is recovering from a shattered leg, Watch the entire catastrophe live on television. When Lucas Jones visits, the two take pleasure in each other's company as they see the events unfold. When Michael Corinthos rashly decided to take Wiley Quartermain Corinthos to Carly's house without first talking to Willow Tate or Drew Kane, the tension in Port Charles reached a breaking point. The action rocked the already strained ties amongst the important people in Wiley's life, appearing deliberate to some and irresponsible to others. Michael's actions left Drew and Willow, who had been working non-stop to keep the young kid stable, shocked and incensed. The consequences of this choice raised the possibility of rekindling long-standing disputes and escalating mistrust between the participating families. Wiley had been embroiled in a contentious custody dispute for months, with each side arguing that they were acting in his best interests. Even while Carly Spencer loved her grandchild, the continuous legal and personal issues had kept her at a remove. Michael had found it difficult to strike a balance between his respect for Willow's intentions and his allegiance to his mother. But he decided to bring Wiley to Carly out of defiance, or maybe desperation, because he felt the youngster should have a relationship with his grandma, regardless of the potential legal repercussions. Drew, who had consistently backed Willow's choices about Wiley, considered Michael's action to be a clear betrayal. Drew was furious that Michael would scuttle their well-thought-out preparations after fighting with Willow to shield Wiley from more unrest. Drew and Willow's relationship, which was already solid due to their common struggles, became even closer when they came together in their rage. When Michael undercut their efforts, Drew's protective instincts took over, and he made it plain that he would not tolerate it. Willow was devastated in the meantime. She had always thought that when it came to Wiley's welfare, she and Michael were in agreement. That trust was destroyed by his choice to act behind her back, and she began to doubt their ability to co-parent successfully in the future. Willow suffered greatly emotionally as she struggled with sentiments of betrayal and anxiety about Wiley's future. Michael had risked everything in one rash act after she had worked so hard to protect him from turmoil. For her part, Carly was thrilled to see Wiley but torn about the situation. She was aware of the tempest her grandson had just unleashed, but she also loved him very much and had missed him horribly. In Port Charles, Carly had always been divisive, and this circumstance just made things worse. She felt thankful for the opportunity to spend time with Wiley, but she was also concerned that Michael's actions would ultimately make matters worse. She was aware that Willow and Drew would not take this lightly, and that there might be dire consequences. Nina Reeves was also involved in the scenario, which added to the tension because of her complex past with Carly and Willow. Michael's choice allowed Nina to further insert herself into the drama, as she had her own thoughts regarding Wiley's upbringing. Since Drew and Willow saw her engagement as just another barrier to their efforts, her presence simply served to increase the hostility. What would happen next was still a mystery when the dust settled. Would Willow and Drew file a lawsuit to stop more illegal visits? Would Michael reconsider his choice, or would he acknowledge his wrongdoing and attempt to put things right? Above all, what impact would the widening gap between Wiley's loved ones have on him? More than just a routine visit, the event at Carly's residence marked a sea change. The road to reconciliation was lengthy and uncertain, and the trust between Willow, Drew, and Michael had been irreversibly destroyed. They would all need to figure out how to handle the consequences for Wiley's sake, but with tensions running high and old grudges coming to the surface, peace appeared far off. Knowing that this was just the start of another dramatic chapter in the lives of their beloved characters, the people of Port Charles watched the drama unfold with bated breath. The Nurses' Ball is one of the most anticipated events in Port Charles, a glamorous evening dedicated to raising funds for HIV/AIDS awareness, while showcasing the talents of the hospital staff and local residents. It is a night of celebration, unity, and goodwill, until chaos erupts. Michael Corinthos, a man driven by desperation and love for his son, Wiley, makes a shocking decision that turns the evening into a scene of turmoil. In a bold and unexpected move, Michael crashes the Nurses' Ball, seizes Wiley, and leaves, sending shockwaves through the gathered crowd and forever altering the dynamics of several relationships. An exciting day in Port Charles is revealed by General Hospital spoilers and recaps for Friday, May 23rd. Fans were once again given access to Giovanni Gio Palmieri's Truth Bomb in the May 23rd program, which resumed where the May 22nd one left off. As soon as Gio left the stage and left the room, Emma Scorpio Drake, Lois Cerullo, and Brooklyn Quartermain Chase came next. Lucy Coe continued to babble until she announced an interval, while Dante Falconeri appeared perplexed and astonished. Dante was told they needed to talk by Cody Bell. Cody tells Dante the truth as they make their way to a backstage dressing room. He helped drove Brooklyn to the bus stop and knew she became pregnant at camp, but he thought she had ended the pregnancy. He maintained his vow since he was bound to secrecy. He had only recently learned that she had given birth to a boy. Cody neglected to explain that Lulu Spencer was the main source of his knowledge about all of this. As soon as Sonny Corinthos, Olivia Quartermain, and Ned Quartermain left the ballroom, the topic of discussion shifted to, "Were you aware of this?" They were all obviously in the dark, but they were certain that Lois had some information. As Sonny looked irate, Olivia wondered how her best friend could have deceived her for so long. When Dante asks the grandparents if they are aware of this, Ned, Sonny, and Olivia respond that they are not. Harrison Chase was present by this point, and he claimed not to have known when Dante questioned him about it. To work things out, Dante hurried off to find Brooklyn, Gio, and Lois. Sonny interrupts Chase before he can leave with Dante. Lois, Dante, and Brooklyn need time to work things out. Lulu, meantime, is panicking out back in the ballroom. Carly Spencer stops her just as she's ready to join the others. Lulu said that she didn't want things to happen this way when Carly reminded her that she had requested this. Lulu responds that she had a confrontation, and that Gio might have overheard them when Carly asks if she told Gio the truth. Lulu is told by Carly that she made this and must now deal with it. Above all, Carly advises Lulu to stop worrying and get off the train before it flattens her. Olivia is told by Sonny back in the foyer that everyone must return to the main room to see the remaining acts. After Chase and Ned are left alone, Ned expresses gratitude to his son-in-law for supporting his daughter. The fact that Brooklyn didn't tell him still stings. Chase explains to Ned that it wasn't a trust issue but rather that Brooklyn didn't want the truth to harm him. To which Ned responds, was this his daughter's or Lois's idea? Elizabeth Liz Baldwin is sitting on her couch across town watching the nurses' ball when her buddy Lucas Jones, who is wearing a tux and carrying a bottle of champagne, stops by. He chose to watch with her rather than attend the event. The two discuss former nurses' balls, including the occasions when Brad Cooper proposed to Lucas and Rick Lansing proposed to Liz, while he holds a paper tiara for Liz. The two discuss about Tracy Quartermain's arrest on the red carpet, as well as everything that has happened at the event thus far. Speaking of which, Tracy is still working at the PCPD, and is causing trouble for Max Scorpio until Jason Morgan stops by to help her. Just as Tracy receives the happy news that she can leave, Steve receives a phone call. Jason informs Tracy that she should have reconsidered working with him at that time after she complains that Drew Quartermain framed her. At the station, Jason receives a call from a mysterious person who needs his assistance. He's working. In other news, Jocelyn Jacks and Trina Robinson are backstage, feeling awful for Gio, and they both promise to be there for him when this is all over. Because the tango performance is cut short and the two must go on stage, Lucy rushes them to get ready. The best friend duet performs a lovely ballad about supporting one another. When they're finished, Carly congratulates Jocelyn, and Curtis Ashford, Portia Robinson, and Kai Taylor are present to applaud Trina. Curtis and Portia claim that their early departure was due to work, but in reality it was due to their absence. Portia did a fantastic job of acting as though nothing was wrong, according to Curtis. Following their conversation about Gio and their sadness for him, Willow, Tate Corinthos, and Drew come up to Carly, and Joss leaves. Willow stops by to inquire about the possibility of reaching a compromise about the child custody matter. Willow responds that she would be more than delighted to let Michael take the kids every other weekend and for 2 weeks during the summer, to which Drew responds that they do have the upper hand. Drew remarks that the 2 weeks will be fantastic, particularly if he, Willow, and the children decide to move to Washington, D.C. Carly is furious and will not make any concessions on a custody arrangement. They leave when Drew states that no one can blame them for not trying. The GH Kids' rendition of the Jackson 5 classic song, I'll Be There, is the evening's last act. Wiley Corinthos, Scout Quartermain, James West, and Georgie Spinelli joined Donna Corinthos. The kids were adorable as they gestured to their favorite audience members, sung the song, and performed some charming little dance movements. The true surprise was when Michael Corinthos, now portrayed by actor Rory Gibson, entered the room as the children were bowing on stage and confetti was flying from above. Wiley went to his dad as soon as he saw him on stage, and they reunited and gave each other a warm embrace. Sunny, Carly, Joss, and of course Willow and Drew were all in disbelief at the father and son. With Wiley in his arms, Michael left the place after picking him up and telling him they were heading home. According to General Hospital teasers, as everyone on canvas comes to terms with Michael's return and discovers that the Bensonhurst child has significant ties to the little town, the dynamics in Port Charles have completely changed. Michael takes Wiley, crashes the nurses' ball and goes. The nurses' ball, a glitzy charity gala that unites the city's elite, medical professionals and cherished locals for an evening of fundraising, performances and touching moments, is one of Port Charles's most anticipated events. Although the evening is supposed to be a celebration of life, love and community, Michael Corinthos uses it as the backdrop for a startling and desperate deed. Michael shocks the crowd by crashing the celebration, taking his son Wiley, and leaving quickly, leaving his family reeling from betrayal and confusion. This gesture stuns everyone in attendance. Wiley and Michael have never had an easy connection. Wiley's guardianship has been a source of conflict between Michael and his mother, Carly, as well as other Corinthos family members, following a tense custody struggle and multiple court cases. Despite Michael's unwavering efforts to protect his rights as Wiley's father, outside factors, whether they be unanticipated events, family meddling or legal maneuvers, have frequently put his capacity to raise his son in jeopardy. Michael's rash choice to act alone is set against the unusual background of the nurses' ball, a public and emotionally charged event. Like any previous nurses' ball, the evening starts with lavish decor, moving speeches and performances aimed at increasing public awareness and funding for HIV/AIDS research. With friends and family coming together to support the cause, the atmosphere is one of happiness and solidarity. But there is still tension below, especially for Michael, who has been getting more and more irritated with the barriers that keep him from having full custody of Wiley. His manner changes from courteous interaction to barely controlled agitation as the event goes on. His closest friends and family, including Willow, Sunny, and Carly, observe his distraction but write it off as stress or exhaustion. Then, without anyone anticipating it, Michael strikes. In order to keep everyone's attention, he can act during a performance or wait for a break in the celebrations. In either event, he quickly leaves the location after grabbing Wiley from whatever is seeing him, whether it Willow, a nanny, or another relative. It takes a few seconds for those in the vicinity to comprehend what has happened, because the act is so abrupt and unexpected. Michael has already left, leaving a path of gasps, whispers, and anxious inquiries in his wake by the time comprehension dawns. The immediate result is anarchy. Whispers among the audience may cause the music to stutter, and talks to be interrupted. If she wasn't the one carrying Wiley at the moment, Willow is probably the first to panic and demand to know where her son is, letting her maternal instincts take over. Ever the family's protector, Carly enters crisis mode, her thoughts racing to figure out Michael's intentions and how to react. Between his responsibilities as a leader and a father, Sunny must strike a balance between his worry for Michael and the necessity of controlling the issue before it gets out of hand. Jax, Nina, Valentine, and other hospital employees exchange confused looks, not knowing what to do. For Michael, this is a deliberate choice made in a moment of need, rather than an act of impulsive behavior. He might have felt helpless for weeks or even months as he saw threats from the outside world, family conflicts, or legal loopholes prevent him from becoming the father he wants to be. He believes that the only way to protect his kid and safeguard their future together is to take Wiley away from the nurses' ball. He might think that this extreme approach is his last option, that the system has let him down, and that his family's meddling has caused more harm than good. Whether or not his actions were reckless or justifiable depends on your point of view, but one thing is for sure. Michael is prepared to suffer the consequences and burn bridges in order to defend Wiley. Willow, meanwhile, is crushed. This betrayal is particularly hurtful if she and Michael have been co-parenting Wiley. She might wonder whether something prompted Michael tonight, if she missed the warning signs, or if he had been preparing this all along. In addition to her intense concern for Wiley's safety, she also experiences the emotional toll of having trusted Michael, just to have him vanish with their son. Any remaining trust could be destroyed by this conduct if their relationship was already strained. Carly's response is just as strong. She has always fought tenaciously for her kids like Michael's mother, frequently fusing control and protection. She might experience a mixture of emotions, including anxiety for Wiley's safety, regret for not anticipating this, and rage at Michael for his carelessness. Her first impulse will be to use every tool at her disposal to find Michael right away. She must, however, also consider the potential that Michael was driven to this degree by her own behavior, whether it was intrusive choices or disputes with other family members. As a father and a significant figure in Port Charles, Sonny must deal with a challenging situation. He knows Michael's suffering because he has gone through his own family issues and custody disputes. He cannot, however, support such a tense and public act. Damage control, keeping the matter from degenerating into a legal or media catastrophe, will be his first task. However, he might feel pressured to shield Michael, even from himself, which could result in conflicts with Carly, Willow, or the police. It is impossible to overlook Michael's actions' legal repercussions. Even though Michael is Wiley's biological father, taking him against his will could be deemed abduction if there is an existing custody agreement. This family turmoil could escalate into a criminal case if the authorities become involved. Attorneys will be contacted, emergency hearings might be planned, and the consequences might push Wiley into a more heated conflict. Despite being motivated by love, Michael's choice can end up backfiring and endangering his parenting rights even more. The incident had an impact on Port Charles beyond the immediate family. Scandal now overshadows the nurses' ball, which was supposed to be a night of camaraderie and hope. The hospital staff is left to handle the disturbance while upholding the charity's reputation, especially those who planned the event. Other guests, including rivals, friends, and impartial onlookers, will respond differently. Some people would feel sorry for Michael, comprehending the desperation of a father. Others will denounce him for his risky and self-centered behavior. There will be division in the court of public opinion, which will exacerbate an already tense situation. The hunt for Michael and Wiley gets more intense in the hours and days that follow. If Jason is in the photo, Carly and Sonny might ask him to help them find them covertly. Willow may seek both practical and emotional support from Chase or other supporters. Michael, meanwhile, has to deal with the consequences of his choice no matter where he is. Is he ready to live in hiding? Does he think he can provide Wiley the stability he needs? What transpires when he has eventually confronted his family once more? Everything changes because of this one act: kidnapping Wiley and breaking into the nurses' ball. Loyalty is called into question, relationships are put to the test, and the resulting repercussions will change the dynamics of the Corinthos family for months to come. It remains to be seen if Michael's risk succeeds or causes further heartache, but one thing is for sure: Port Charles will never be the same. Michael's acts are the result of months of annoyance, court cases, and emotional upheaval rather than being rash decisions. Michael and Willow Tate, Wiley's adoptive mother, and Wiley's biological mother, Nellie Benson, have been at odds over the little child at the heart of a sour custody battle, Wiley. Michael feels helpless and trapped since the court system has not given him the justice he feels he is entitled to. Even though he is normally calm, the loss of his kid becomes too much for him to handle, and he resorts to extreme means. Michael has the ideal chance to make a statement at the nurses' ball because of its well-known guests and media attention. Tension is simmering beneath the surface as talks and acts take place during the occasion. Michael observes from the shadows, having already made up his mind. He moves forward when the time is appropriate, attracting attention right away. As he gets closer to Wiley, who is not aware of the tempest that is about to hit him, gasps reverberate through the crowd.